Hail the Barbarian Horde, I'm Joe, and I'm solo this time. That's right, solo. Han Solo, if you will, or Conan Solo. Alright, so this video is going to be focused around the Titan Comics issue number 4. This is a really good issue. And I don't really know like how best to kind of describe everything in a long form format, because while I do have some criticisms, I find that this is a really good story and it wraps things up really well. Now, let's go first off. Conan is down in the Lazarus pit. I don't know. I guess I could call it the zombie pit, but I prefer Lazarus pit as a reference to DC Comics Ra's al Ghul stories. Hail Dennis O'Neil. And ce qui arrive, c'est que Conan, while down there, suddenly has a vision of a certain Pictish warrior from the Thurian Age. I don't really know why he has a vision of Brule, but one could argue that maybe a part of Brule still existed within the sword that Conan has. Now, Conan found it, and it turns out to have belonged once upon a time to, well, Brule. And what happens is that Brule appears to him and shows him how he himself came across what was once a large statue and is now just a hunk of rock at the bottom of this pit. And what happens is that it is this stone that, being cursed in some way by ancient gods, elder gods, I think, that's been causing the whole zombie apocalypse. So what happens is that, well, for one thing, I have a question: is how come it started with the Picts and, not in Samaria? But on the other hand, it could be answered that maybe this god cursed some Picts and they were drawn in the direction of this pit in a bit of a two-pronged assault by Thulsa Doom. That said, and what I mean by that is you have Thulsa Doom pretty much near the pit, and you have the god, probably Set, cursing some Picts, and this way, you get a two-pronged assault. They go towards Thulsa Doom, destroying everything in their path and gathering a larger and larger army until they're at the pit and Thulsa Doom's, working from there. And I know he was chucking people in, I know, the whole time. But on the other hand, how did it originate outside of the area is what I mean. That's one small piece of criticism, but it's easily answered in the way I answered it. On the other hand, once the whole Brule vision fades, Conan destroys the Blackstone, is cast out of the pit, and fights his way out to freedom, whereupon he learns that Brissa raced off away from the Sumerian survivors, and the elders explain that they thought that she had ran off to Conan into the mountain. We don't know what happened there. On the other hand, a small fragment of the stone is later found sometime later by a Sumerian. That's the whole story. There's not much to say. Like, the art is great. The storytelling is really good. And the way it wraps up the whole story is, well, quite good. So this whole zombie apocalypse thing, while I would prefer it to be longer and to maybe span a few more areas, I think on the other hand, without completely taking the Hyborian Age in a different direction or something, which I don't think that would be a good idea in hindsight. So on the other hand, the way this was done, the way it was set up with a rising and falling action, the way it ties back to the Thurian Age with Thulsa and with Brule, I gotta give this Overall story, a 3-star. Remember, 0 to 4. This is above average. This is really, really good. Actually, it's great. That's what I'd say the 3-star is for. As for issue number 4, I would say 2.3. It's on the cusp of being a 3. Not quite, but it's not because of any fault of its own. It's just I prefer the previous 2 issues, I think. But on the other hand, this is a really, 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 really good issue. I really like it. And if you consider the 4-part story as a whole, like I said, it's a 3 overall. It's a great story. So, hope you all loved it. And let's all stay tuned for the next few issues because they're sure to be quite good. And next week, hopefully, I'll be able to upload for you all a dark horse. Can't talk anymore. A dark horse Conan comic book issue number 4, I believe. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were Conan taking out the undead.